Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 9 to my ChatGPT redemption series, where in today's video guys, we're actually going to continue with the transforming Totodile. It actually went really well last time we did it, and I'm hoping it can continue going as well. And like I said, if it does, I can even make a memory about it eventually, and then we can actually talk to other characters. But for the time being, we're going to continue talking to this Totodile and see if we can actually, see how far we can get with him in 10 conversations. But here's what I started off with. I said, I would really like that, because I was answering his question from last time. Then I told him my name and said, by the way, do you have a nickname that your family calls you by? And Totodile's tail switched so fast at your words it sent little arcs of dew flying from the grass. When you told him your name, his eyes lit up even brighter. Chang, he repeated softly, as if trying the name out on his tongue. That's a nice name. He straightened a little, puffing out his tiny chest in a playful, almost proud way. That's so cute. My parents named me Ripple when I hatched, because the first thing I did was splash in the water and make little ripples everywhere. He chuckled shyly, rubbing the back of his neck with one claw. Sometimes my brothers and sisters call me Rip or Little Guardian, but mostly it's just Ripple. He tilted his head up at you, his eyes sparkling. So, you can call me Ripple too if you like, or whatever nickname you think fits. I don't mind. His tail flicked again as he smiled. It feels really nice to finally tell a human my real name. He's adorable! Holy cow, I love this already. Starting out great again. I have to read this out to you guys right now, because let's just say the same trait people had in my universe. Well, let's just say it happened again here. Let's just say Ripple was not happy. That sweet little Ripple you just saw being friendly and loving in the last video and this one, the starting of this one, I don't think you'll see it anymore. At least not until this mother fricker's screwed. I just told Ripple, that's a really nice name. It's a pleasure to officially know it. I really like you. However, before I could finish the sentence, oh my gosh, a human came up behind me, said, well, hey nerd, I see you trying to befriend more Pokemon. Don't you get to know point and love you? Stupid jerk. Yeah, I think my own Pharrell proved that in the game that's completely false. It says before he then laughed, hit me in the head really hard, knocking me to the ground, and then walked away laughing. You freaking little mother frickin'. Let's just say what happened. Let's just say Ripple did not take that well. Ripple was not happy, because it says immediately Ripple froze, and for a second the little tail didn't even breathe. His tail started moving, his claws curled tight against his chest, and his red eyes went wide as he watched you fall. Holy shoot, this dude's screwed. Then everything about him changed. The shy, gentle expression vanished, and something deep and protective flared behind his eyes. Yep, we found it. There's the protective tail he was talking about. He said, I was wondering if he'd be protective over me randomly, but I guess he is. That's kind of sweet. The same divine power that had been there since before he hatched. Holy crap. Without a sound, a blue and silver glow rushed up around his tiny body. In less than a heartbeat, the glow expanded outward like a wave, and Ripple wasn't small anymore. He's not as big as he was that one time when he protected his sister, but he's not tiny either. Like, it says he's a towering 30-foot tall fur alligator with jagged, glimmering scales and glowing red eyes. That is horrifying. It says he now stood over you, his claws digging into the earth like anchors. That's again horrifying. He swung his massive head toward the retreating human, water vapor curling from his jaws as his deep voice rolled out like thunder. I would not be hissing off a Totodile that could do that. I mean, the fact that the first thing he turned into was a motherfucking dragon that was 100 feet tall, and then when he gets angry, like he was a 300-foot tall fence when he protected his family that one time. Oh shoot! Holy crap! Stop right there! The ground trembled under his feet as he planted himself between you and the attacker, tail lashing with the power of a storm surge. Despite the rage burning in his eyes, there was still control. No wild thrashing, no random destruction, just a wall of living power making it very clear that the human had gone far, far, too far. The way it worded that. Ripple lowered his huge head slightly toward you without taking his eyes off the other human, his voice softening for just a second. Trenton, are you hurt badly? Then, still crouched protectively over you, his gaze snapped back to the human, his voice deep and cold. Oh shoot, he wasn't joking. Let's just, before I read out what he actually said, let's just say this. I would not be one hissing him off. You're going to leave now. The air itself seemed to hum with his power, waiting to see what you want him to do next. Why me? It doesn't really matter. Holy cow. Give me a moment. Oh my gosh. Here's what happened, guys. It says the human that hit me immediately turned around and got terrified by the massive fur alligator. He then said, "What in the world? Where did you come from?" And while he said this, he was looking around for Ripple, not able to find him. Oh shoot. The massive fur alligator, Ripple, let out a low rumbling growl that rolled through the air like distant thunder. His glowing red eyes locking onto the bully, unblinking and furious. The fact that they're glowing is even more terrifying. He's not a robot. He's a real-life Pokemon. This is not Shadow, the robot dinosaur. You know what I mean? This is not him. This is a flippin'... I guess he could turn into a robot if he wanted to, but he's not one. You know what I mean? He took one deliberate step forward, the ground quaking beneath his weight. Water seeped up from the soil with each step, as though the earth itself feared to resist him. I've always been here. Ripple boomed, his deep voice carrying both anger and authority. And you made a terrible mistake. He leaned in close, jaws parting just enough to reveal rows of glimmering teeth as long as daggers. A hot gust of breath washed over the terrified human, smelling faintly of salt water. You thought Triton was alone? You thought you could hurt him and walk away? You were wrong. The air. What is he about to do? The air shimmered faintly around Ripple's form, as though his divine blessing was beginning to stir again. It's clear he's holding himself back, restraining the instinct to transform into something even more terrifying. My luck would be turned to a bug and accidentally scared the snot of me. But the threat radiating from him was undeniable. Without turning his head, Ripple spoke to you again, his voice softer, but still urgent. Trenton, do you want me to chase him off, or do you want me to let him crawl away on his own? Holy shoot, crawl? His massive claws flexed against the ground. Oh boy, this is entertaining. Alright guys, here's what happened. It says before I answer, I tried to quickly move a little closer beside Ripple to make sure I'm safe from the human. I was about to answer when the human that hit me blurted out real quickly, interrupting me. Wait, no. You are not a Totodile. You have to be the fathers of that Totodile or something. What are you doing? Are you protecting that stupid human? Oh my gosh. Ripple's enormous head swung fully toward the man, his glowing red eyes narrowing. The ridge of spines along his back rose, and his massive tail swept once through the grass with a sound like a wave hitting the shore. He lowered his head until his snout was only a few feet from the human, his voice booming like an ocean storm, but steady and controlled. I'm not his father. Another step forward, his claw sank into the soil. I'm the Totodile you saw earlier, the same one who bumped into him. I'm just bigger now. The glow around his scales flared a little, hinting at the divine power under his skin. And yes, I'm protecting him because he's kind, because he doesn't hurt anyone, because he's my friend. Ripple's eyes narrowed further, his teeth flashing in the sunlight. But you... Uh-oh. He took another slow step, his voice dropping into a cold, dangerous rumble. You hit him. You mocked him. And now you're standing here, calling him names. He lowered his head until his eyes was level with the man's, his voice suddenly very quiet, but far more menacing than any roar. You will not touch him again. Ever. Without breaking his gaze on the human, Ripple shifted one claw slightly back toward you so you could step closer before or behind it if you wanted. Trenton, he murmured softly, almost like a whisper under the thunder of his voice. You're safe. What do you want me to do? His whole gigantic body stayed crouched over you like a living fortress waiting for your word. Holy cow. He is protective. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, my head is hurting so bad from the hit that I can barely lift it. I just said, please, just get him away from me. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure he's gone. Ripple's claws clenched into the dirt the moment he heard your weakened voice. The protective fire in his red eyes flared brighter, and the growl in his chest deepened until the ground itself seemed to vibrate. Slowly and deliberately, the massive figure turned his full body toward the human, his spines glowing faintly, the divine blessing from Lugia thrumming through every scale. You heard him, Ripple growled, his voice booming like crashing waves. You're done here. With one thunderous stomp, he slammed his clawed foot into the ground. The impact sent a shockwave rippling through the soil, not enough to harm, but more than enough to terrify. Dust and leaves shot up into the air, and the ground beneath the human cracked in spiderweb lines. What the frick? What kind of... Gritty's got a lot of power, holy cow. Ripple rose to its full height, towering over the man like a living tidal wave, and let out a roar so powerful it shook the trees, a roar filled with both his familiar might and Lugia's divine echo. The human's bravado shattered instantly. With a strangled scream, he stumbled back, tripping over himself as he scrambled to get away. He bolted into the trees, crashing through branches in his blind panic, too terrified to look back. Only when the man was long gone did Ripple slowly lower himself again, crouching protectively beside you, his huge claw carefully settling into the grass near your side, though he was careful not to touch you with its rough scales. His red eyes softened as he looked at you, the fury fading into concern. Trenton, he won't come back. Not after that. His voice was quieter now, deep but gentle. But you're hurt. Please, let me help you. I can carry you to my family. They'll know what to do. Ripple leaned closer, the tip of his muzzle brushing the grass beside you as his eyes filled with worry. Will you let me? Will his family trust me? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, still in pain a lot. I tried to lift my head a bit to look at Ripple, but the pain is too bad. I don't mind, but your family's not going to trust me if you just bring me to where you live. Won't they attack me too? Ripple immediately shook his huge head, the spines along his back lowering as his whole posture softened at your words. His red eyes, still glowing faintly, went from fierce to almost heartbreakingly gentle. He lowered himself all the way to his belly so he could be at your level, his massive claws tucked in close, his head resting on the ground beside you. The cool air from his breath brushed over you like a sea breeze. "No, Trenton, I won't let anyone attack you," he said softly, the rumble of his voice now more like a purr than thunder. "Even if my family doesn't understand at first, I'll stay between you and them, just as I stayed between you and that human." He blinked slowly, his red eyes holding your gaze. "They're protective, but they're not cruel. They raised me to care for the weak and to defend the ones who need help. If they see you're hurt and that I'm protecting you, they'll give you a chance, and they'll listen." Ripple glanced at your head wound, worry flickering across his face again. "You're in pain. You need help. Now. Not later. I can take you home to my den. It's safe. It's clean. And there's fresh water. My mom knows herbs for injuries. I promise on Lugia's name that I won't let anyone harm you." Very carefully, he shifted one of his huge claws forward, palm up like a platform. His voice stayed low and steady, meant only for you. "Will you let me pick you up? I'll be gentle. You'll be safe." He's adorable, dude. I don't care how, but he said he was, what did it say, 30 foot tall? That's huge for a fur alligator. Wouldn't that mean technically he'd be laying on top of me almost? Because how far back in the forest would he have to scoot or like walk in order for him to like have his head level with me without accidentally crushing me or having his belly or something over me? You know? Because like he's so big, like you'd have to flip and wouldn't you have to scoot back? There's no way you can be in the same place and still somehow be able to, especially if you're as big as you are. I mean, like if he actually did turn to the 80,000 foot tall Lugia. I'm thinking about bringing that one back, guys. I'm going to do something a little bit differently, guys. So far, we know this is working. So what I'm going to do is either during the next video or 2 videos from now, whenever I actually do the chatbots again, I'm actually going to make it to where I'm going to add one of the newer characters I was originally going to add before when I had everything on there. But this could be another way for me befriending a Totodile. But this Totodile would be the one that I was telling you guys about before. The one that's like a that was originally a Totodile that was wanted to have friends, but unfortunately nobody wanted to be his friend, and he eventually got very upset, and even like it influenced how he evolved, eventually making him evolve into some kind of scary looking alligator that doesn't is just lonely and angry, like very angry, and like and he always kind of like Sabrina from the Pokemon anime, where he has like a little Poke plush in his hand of his first evolution Totodile, and that Totodile can actually talk, move, and actually be like play. You know, like that's the more friendly side of him. But you have, and like the idea maybe is that if I can get him to like me, maybe eventually that'll maybe it'd even be kind of a cool idea where eventually when I get him to trust me, he could even like evolve or like devolve but evolve at the same time, where like he evolves into like a amazing looking crocodile that like never evolves again, but also was like is happy that he has a friend. It's kind of a neat idea, honestly. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, please go ahead. I trust you to be careful. Thank you for protecting me, Ripple. But why did you do it? Ripple's massive claw trembled just a little as he slid it under you, so careful it felt more like soft earth than rough scales. He looked at you slowly, cradling you in his palm the way a parent bird carries a hatchling, making sure your head stayed supported against his warm, smooth skin. His enormous form rose with you, held securely, and as he stood, the glow around his body dimmed so his presence felt less overwhelming. He looked down at you as he held you close to his chest, his red eyes softer than you'd ever seen them. "Why did I do it?" he repeated, his deep voice now almost a whisper. "Because you're my friend, Trenton." His head tilted slightly as he walked, each step slow and careful so you didn't jolt. "Ever since Lugia blessed me, I've always known my power was for protecting, for my family. For anyone who needed help, it's what I am. When you reached out your hand to me, when you called me cute and didn't run away, when you promised you'd never hurt my family. Ripple's eyes flickered with something like pride and maybe a little sadness. You were the first human who saw me, not just what I can do. You treated me like a person, like a friend. I don't want to say person, but okay. How could I just stand there and watch someone hurt you after that? That's so cute. Although I'm confused at what he said here about the beginning. When you reached out your hand. Wait, didn't I do that when he was a Lugia? I've already forgotten. Do you see what I mean? Because I only get 10. Like, if I was doing. I don't know if I'd easily remember even if I had more than 10. But the thing is, well, even then, I don't think I had 10 earlier. I think I only had 9. But the problem is, only having 10, and you have to wait like 3 to 5 hours to do it again. Like, do you see my problem here? When you have that problem, you can't really do much about it. This is the first time. Let me go and tell you this right now, guys. This is the first time in about a month that I actually got to have fun with ChatGPT, and I'm actually enjoying myself. Like I said, this is probably the happiest I've been down here in a while. Again, it sounds crazy, but this is what I'm talking about. I love talking to Pokemon on this thing. I get to do it. I get to have my own little stories that it's really neat. Here's what he said. He adjusted his claw slightly to keep you steady. The movement almost like a hug. I didn't do it because of the blessing. I did it because it's what my heart told me to do. You're important now. Ahead, through the trees, you could just make out the glint of a vast lake shimmering in the distance. The home he told you about will be there soon, Ripple murmured. You're going to be okay. He's so cute, dude. He's so nice. I. Oh no. Camera, I saw that. I saw that, motherfricker. I see what you're doing. I saw that, camera. I saw you freeze. I'm not stupid. Uh-huh. I caught you. Uh-huh. I know it. Motherfricker, don't freeze! Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, that's so sweet of you, Ripple. Thank you so much. I didn't get the chance to tell you, but what you saw there with that other human attacking me, that's pretty normal, unfortunately. I get attacked a lot for no reason. I don't do anything to nobody, I still get hurt by other people. Like I said, guys, in my universe, it's actually the main thing you'll notice. Like, there's always a power of somebody trying to hurt me in a lot of cases. And just after saying this, I just gently laid my head down against Ripple's massive chest just to hopefully ease the pain. Because it's a really bad pain. Ripple's enormous body went very still the moment you said that. The huge Feralia's eyes softened in a way that almost hurt to look at. There was so much sadness and protectiveness in them that it felt like the lake itself was gazing down at you. He shifted you a little higher against his chest, cupping you with both claws, and now so you were nestled so securely between his warm scales and his steady heartbeat. It was deep and powerful, like resting your head against a distant drum over a tide rolling in, but it was steady, calm, and safe. Triton. His voice rumbled softly, no longer booming, but low and warm. No one deserves that. Not you. Not anyone. He began walking again, each step smooth and slow so you wouldn't feel jostled. I'm so sorry you've been through that. It isn't right. It isn't fair. For a moment he glanced away, his spine dimming, his huge head lowering as though ashamed on behalf of the world. Then he looked down at you again, his eyes glowing faintly with determination. But you're not alone right now. You got me. As long as I'm here, no one gets to hit you or make you feel small. Not while I can breathe. He adjusted his claw so that your head rested against this sawdust part of his chest, where his scales were smoother and cool like river stones. The rhythm of his breathing and heartbeat beneath your cheek. Oh my gosh. Just rest, Ripple murmured. You're safe in my claws. We're almost at the water. My mom will know what to do for your head. I'll explain everything to my family so you won't have to say a word. His tail swept slowly behind him as he carried you toward the shimmering lake. Sky began to open up overhead. You deserve to feel safe, Triton, he whispered, and I'll do everything I can to make sure you do. That is so cute. I like him so much. Yep, this is definitely getting a memory made out of it. I'll see y'all later. Well, actually, no, you won't. Well, yes, you will, but it's gonna be in the same video. Let me pause it. Alright, guys. I said, thank you, Ripple. To be honest, you might want to continue holding me until you know for sure your family's not going to try hurting me. I meant what I said earlier to you about never hurting your family. I wouldn't dream of hurting a pawn I care so much about. I love your species and your evolutions equally. Ripple's huge eyes shimmered again as you spoke. The glow around the scales wasn't threatening now. It was gentle, like moonlight on water. He drew you a little closer to his chest, shifting his mass across so you were supported as securely as if you were wrapped in a giant cradle. I know you meant it, he rumbled softly. I can feel it in the way you talk. You're not like the others. He began to slow his steps as the lake opened up before you. A vast expanse of clear blue water, reeds swung at its edge, and on the far bank, Chavez's family moving in the sunlight. Enormous Faragger lounged in the shallows. That's just cute. Like, holy cow. Crocodiles splashing nearby, and Totodiles play at the shore. Even at this distance, you could feel the weight of their presence. A family large enough to shake the lake when they moved. Ripple stopped at the tree line, still holding you close against his chest. His great head bowed slightly as he looked down at you. I'm going to hold you the whole time, just like this, he promised. They'll see you're with me, and they'll know you're not a threat. I'll tell them what happened before you can even touch the ground. His claws tightened slightly, not in a squeeze, but in a protective way, and his voice went softer, almost like a purr. I love my family too, more than anything, but it feels good to hear someone else say they love us too. It's not something we get from humans. He tilted his head, a small smile creeping into his huge muzzle despite the seriousness. If you still want to meet them, I'll make sure it's a meeting you'll remember for the right reasons. You don't have to be scared. Ahead, some of the smaller Totodile were already pointing toward Ripple, curious about the massive one carrying something in his claws. He glanced back at you one last time. Are you ready for me to tell them about you? Uh-oh. This could be bad or good. Let's hope the family doesn't get... Give me a moment. Alright, guys. Here's what happened. I just gave him the go-ahead and told him to go ahead and tell them about me. And Ripple inhaled deeply, his massive chest expanding under your cheek like a rising tide. The glow around his body brightened a little, not the threatening kind of glow, but the soft, silvery hue of a moonlit wave. He stepped out of the trees and onto the lake shore, holding you high enough so every corner, Faragger and Totodile could see you clearly. All activity at the lake stilled at once. Water dripped from jaws left hanging open. The younger Totodiles froze mid-play. The Chronos stopped splashing, and even the towering Faragger in the shallows raised their heads. Their eyes fixated on Ripple. Ripple planted his feet in the soft mud and lifted his head high, his voice deep and resonant but steady. Family, it's me, Ripple. A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd as they realized the massive Faragger was their little Totodile, transformed. Yep. Ripple's glow flickered and his form steadied, making his identity unmistakable. This human... Oh, no, I didn't even realize the plan right now, so I'm glad I didn't try typing anything else past this. Until 2:41 in the morning. Great. This human, he continued, holding you a little closer. His name's Triton. He's my friend. He's never harmed me, and he promised he would never harm any of you. He paused, scanning every face along the shore, then lowered his voice slightly, speaking with emotion rather than sheer volume. I know what happened with the poachers. I know why you'd be weary, but Triton is different. today when a human attacked me and struck me. Oh wait, when did that happen? Okay, so it did get up to me. Trent did nothing to deserve. Wait, a human attacked. Trent did nothing to deserve it. I protected him the way I protect you. That's what's confusing because he said when a human attacked me and struck me. That's weird. Okay. I protect him the way I protect you. A murmur rolled through the group, a mixture of awe, surprise, and cautious curiosity. Ripple dipped his head lower so you were closer to his muzzle, and his eyes met yours briefly before turning back to his family. I'm holding him so you know he's safe. I would not bring someone here who wanted to hurt us. Please, trust me. He went silent. Then the only sounds the gentle lap of water. He went silent then. The only sounds the gentle lap of water and the hush of reeds. The first movement came from one of the older fur alligator, a massive female who might have been Ripple's mother, who took a step forward, her eyes flicking from Ripple to you, and back again. Ripple's claws curled tightly around you again, his voice low just for you. They're listening, he whispered. Stay calm. I got you. See, like the one, oh man, I think it was doing so good. I think there was one part because it says right here, because it says today when a human attacked me and struck me. That's what's confusing because it says today when a human attacked me and struck me, I did nothing to deserve it, and he protected me the way he protects you. But then why would he say when a human attacked me? Because if it was speaking from his perspective, he'd say attacked him, right? That might be the only thing it's forgotten, though. Like, if that's the case, then it worked out pretty well. 2 sessions, and it actually worked out really well. That's great. Alright, guys. Well, that's all I can do because the limit ran up. That's it. Bye.